is Crystal with Hattis Hierophant. I am your tarot reader. I hope you are doing well, my beloved. This is your December general reading, and we are going to start off with your chakra energy, and it is that of the Soul Star Chakra. This is located at the center of your navel. You want to focus on that beautiful color, yellow. This is going to encourage you in courage, free will, self-discipline. This is also going to help you get through any hard times that you may be going through. I think this is a perfect card for you. If you follow me on Instagram, I pulled some cards for your particular sign in regard to this eclipse full moon that we had in Gemini, right? And I think it'll be quite helpful for you. So a few things that I'm seeing right away. So you have that of inner strength. Let's focus on that for the month of December. I feel like it's going to do you some good just looking over your spread here. It looks like that we are going to be, a lot of us are going to be moving. So I don't know if some of us are, I feel like you've had it, right? Like you've absolutely had it. So either you are physically moving, right? To where you're moving out, you're moving on, you're moving up. Like there's some sort of movement to where you are moving. Some of us are lateral and some of us it's an increase. As far as like a promotion of some sort. So there's some sort of movement, right? And I also see that some of us have not emotionally, but mentally moved on. It's like you've checked out. It's like, you know what? I've given that a chance. I tried to dabble in that, but I'm finished and I no longer have mental space for you. So I'm seeing that here. I'm seeing a lot of work relationship. I'm seeing you really getting down into it. So let's get on with your general reading and I can stop rambling. So I have that of the Three of Pentacles as the center of your reading. So this lets me know that this is work related. It's a collaborative sort of situation. So perhaps some sort of team, or to where it's more than one person that's involved here. Some of you it is family, and some of you it is friendships that I'm seeing as well. But a lot of you it is work related. So it's a small energy, right? I don't feel like it's going to be a huge focus, even though it's a huge focus. It's a focus in the center of your reading. I think because it touches on different aspects of your life, as work sometimes does, but it doesn't feel like it's a heavy feeling that's going to last a while. So let's get into your moon energy. This is where your emotions are. This is where you have conversations with spirit, and you have that of the Seven of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, and the Six of Swords. So for those of you who've decided, like, you know what, you're not even going to be in my thought space anymore, I'm not going to think of you, right? And I mean that in a sense of, I used to think of you before I thought of me. I used to make sure everything was done so you didn't have to worry about it. And there's something in you that just decided, like, I'm not doing that anymore. Because what ends up happening is you depend on me to do everything, and you sit there and do nothing. And then on top of that, you ask me like, oh, you didn't get it done yet? Sorry, why? Gemini, you do it all. And so you mentally has decided, like, I'm not doing that anymore. And some of you are mentally, it's like, all year I've been kind of seeing a lot of you of getting down to like writing, right? I see some of you are writing a novel. Some of you are writing a blog. Some of you, I see some of you even in like broadcasting. So whether you're starting your own YouTube channel or whatever that means to you, I do see you like getting started to talk to the public, right? And your focus has changed. So, and what I mean by that is you're getting more clarity, when before it was just kind of an idea here, an idea there. So you're going to start seeing some more clarity and stability, really, because Saturn is really working on you air signs. So it's really going to benefit you. And I see some earth energy here too. So I think that's really going to help get your ideas moving. So with this Five of Swords here, right? I'm getting work and family. So listen, pick your battles, Gemini. Pick your battles. I think you are better off in this energy of, you know what? I mentally am just going to focus on me. I'm going to worry about me, right? And it's not in a selfish way. It's almost in a way to where it's like self-care. You're taking care of yourself. So it's not selfish. It's more like I love me more. There's nothing wrong with that, Gemini, to say, I love me more, right? And that's the energy that I'm getting there. So you're better off doing that than trying to tell people what to do, right? Because as far as that energy of, I do it, so you know what, I think you should be doing it, and you should do this, and you should do that. I don't think that's going to be a good route for you. I don't think it's going to be received well. So now let's go into your sun energy and see what's there. And this is where you show up, right? This is where people see you. As a matter of fact, if this happens to be your ascending sign, this will also be helpful to you as well. And we have that of the Two of Pentacles, the King of Cups, and the Knight of Swords. So I don't know if you're going to be going to like a boss of, you know, or some sort of department head is what I'm seeing. But you're going to the top, or you're going pretty close to the top. And you are just kind of like, it's important to you to get this message across. It's important to you to communicate what you need to communicate. I mean, come on, Gemini, you are the communicator. You represent communication, right? So you are going to be going to someone to kind of talk about your ideas, talking about change. And I'm getting the message of, if that is you, Gemini, you go to the person who is in the same heart space as you, right? Who has the same compassion as you in that area. Because it's all about who you choose to network with to get you to that next level, to get you to where you want to be, right? So that's the message there. I'm also feeling like that some of you are going to be kind of weighing your pros and cons, right? Somehow you guys have gotten knowledge of, right? Some information has gotten to you. And now that you have this information, right, you kind of have all the facts in front of you. Now it's time for you to make a decision, right? Do I go? Do I stay? Do I give them my ideas? Do I not? You know, and I feel like some of you, this information as well, for those of you who are like in the communication department, as far as the writing is what I'm picking up on, right? Or broadcasting or what have you. It's almost like you're going to have all this information because you're trying to find this niche. And trying to find this niche, you're like, do I do this or this? And these are both really incredible opportunities and things that I want to share, but I can't do both because then it's not a niche. It gets confusing, right? So I feel like that, talk to a person who's has the same interest as you as far as what you're trying to push, as far as what you're trying to do, and they're going to help you kind of decide, like, this is the thing, okay? That's the message there. Now, when we go into your immediate future, all of a sudden I felt some indecisiveness. And this is why. When we go into your immediate future, I get that of the Two of Swords. So there is something that's being hidden from you at work, right? So this here is more towards your own thing, right? So that, you know, that specific message is for you, those of you who want to write, who want to broadcast, who want to start your own channel, who want to start, you know, doing, you know, like break off and do something else, right? That message is for you. But for those of you who actually work in an organization, or you are part of some collaborative environment, someone's not, you don't have all the information. I don't know if that's necessarily good or bad. That's not what I feel. I just feel like you just don't have all the information, period, right? And then I have that of the Chariot. So this is also Cancerian energy. So I love this energy. So I'm feeling like I'm feeling compassion here. So I'm feeling like this information that's being hidden from you, right? And for those of you who are kind of in that collaborative situation and you are finding yourself kind of like confused, right? Because this is an energy of confusion as well. And it's because you don't have all the facts. It's almost like you have this cookbook and you're trying to make an apple pie, but some of the ingredients are left off. So it's kind of like, well, how do I make this pie if something's missing, right? So that's how it feels here, but it feels like it's more of a protective type thing. Like now is not the time to let Gemini know this, right? So it doesn't feel secretive. It just feels more like, you know, until further notice sort of thing. But I love that we have that Chariot card in your immediate future too, because that's all about the things that you've been through, Gemini. And you've learned to yield those things that didn't work out, those things that were failures, those things that were disappointments and that discouraged you. You've learned to kind of yield those into successes and turn them into something else. It's almost like, don't cry over spilt milk. We just wipe it right on up and we wring it out. And guess what? We're going to use it as a facial mask, right? It's like you've learned to make lemonade out of lemons. So well done. But what I did do, because I was asking Spirit, elaborate to me for Gemini in regards to this Two of Swords. And I got that of the Three of Hearts. And the Three of Hearts is like a Three of Cups. So this is all about celebration and collaboration and partying and things like that. So the energy that I'm getting here is that and I know that a lot of us, especially now with everything that's going on, we're not doing too many parties and gatherings, but if some reason you are with your people, right, and you're in some sort of gathering, I'm getting the message don't misconstrue what you think you saw went down, right? I feel like that, again, that you just don't have all the information, so don't jump to conclusions. Kind of ride it out, right? The best thing to do, Gemini, now this is hard, right? I'm a Gemini rising. I know this is hard, but the best thing to do is just don't say anything. Don't do anything, just kind of wait. You don't have all the information quite yet. And I have this here of the Five of Diamonds. And this is like the Hierophant energy, but the energy that I'm getting from here, because this is also representing deception as well. And I'm just not feeling like someone's trying to deceive you. I feel like that your interpretation is what's deceiving you, right? So I strongly just feel like, Gemini, that if you're seeing something or you're starting to feel a certain kind of way, because we all have that one person, right? We all have that one person that is undercover friends with everybody, but undercover saying, well, they also... It's almost like they try to plant like these deceptive seeds everywhere, and they sit back and just watch it because they just take pure enjoyment from the chaos. Don't get involved in that. There's a trap that's being set. Just a heads up there. But, like I said, I see us coming out the victor. So, well done. Okay. We are going to expand on your moon energy. There we have it, Gem. There we have it. So I expanded on that Seven of Pentacles. And I have that of the 10 of Pentacles, and I have that of the 5 of Wands. And what's interesting about this, right, is that this new focus, right? This new focus of the way you communicate to the public, to them, to us, that's how it feels, is going to, it's really going to benefit you in the long run financially. This is really going to be a great way for you to create a legacy. Thank you. And the word is to focus, and the word is, it is for you, right? Because some of us Gemini, some of you Geminis don't believe that it's meant for you because it's never been for anybody in your family. Like, you've never seen anyone successfully do it. You've heard them talk about it, but you've never seen anyone successfully do it. Trust in your talents. Put your head down, focus, and it'll be a done deal. See, and this 5 of Wands is not only about competition, but it's also about practice, right? They're practicing. They're learning how to use their wands together, right? So that's the message here, Gemini, right? Just do it. Just start doing it. Will you mess up along the way? Will you end up hitting the wrong person? And just, yeah. But you know what you do? You say, oops, sorry about that. Practicing, I'm learning. I'm learning this thing. Listen, here's a card from my ancestral deck that I've been called to, and this is what I pulled for you earlier, and it's the fox, right? And it says the spirit fox, and it says, trust your talents in changing times. And fives are all about change. And I'm getting the message that some of you are switching it up, and some of you need to switch it up. So, you know, this energy here, right? We can't do both, because one of them is going to be like, it'll be successful, but it'll be like humdrum. It'll kind of like, it'll be so humdrum that it might just fall under the radar. So just kind of sprinkle a little innovation to it because of the changing times. And you're going to get this legacy generational for all, right, sort of downloads and experience. And I hear excitement. Thank you. And then here, I pulled 3 cards from the ancestral deck, and this is the second one that I pulled for you, and this is called the Elder card. Move beyond ancestral patterns. Look at that energy there. I love it. Look at his face, right? He's like the elder of the family. He's seen people live. He's seen people die. He's seen people succeed. He's seen people fail. And as a matter of fact, he's been all of those. So don't look at what some of your ancestors have failed at, because some of your ancestors, Gemini, have been quite successful in their own right. And so can you. Oh, let's continue to expand. Let's expand on that 6 of Swords. You have the 6 of Wands and the 3 of Swords, right? So what I'm feeling like, because like I said, some of us have moved on, whether it's where you just mentally moved on, you're like, I'm not gonna do it anymore, you can take care of it yourself. Doesn't matter if you have physically moved, whatever the case, or even if you have been promoted to a different position, right? There is going to be a third party, or there's going to be a person within your group that's going to be either hating, like, why'd Gemini get to, why'd they get promoted? That's me having an attitude, right? So you're going to have a hater, right? There's that. And then, you know, that whole, when you decide to remove your energy from a collaborative effort, because it's like, it's not a collaboration, right? This is singular, because I'm doing it all, and you all can sit back and reap the benefits. Whatever the case, Gemini, whatever the case, whatever the disappointment is, because I feel like this isn't a disappointment that happens for you. I feel like this is a disappointment to them, like, because they thought Gemini was going to keep doing it. They thought Gemini was the one that was going to bring us home. And when you put down the rope because you were tugging in the boat, and they're like, wait a minute, we have to walk to shore like ourselves? Right? You're like, yeah, I'm tired of being the one pushing y'all. And at the end of the day, you are going to be recognized that you were the one pulling the boat. The message here, Gemini, if you have been doing it on your own and you're exhausted and you're tired, don't feel like that no one has noticed. And that's how come some of you are actually going to be promoted. And that's how come some of you are going to be moved to the bigger office. Some of you are going to be promoted to, like, yeah, Gemini, you know what? You go work at home because you do much. We see you doing everything. So I wonder what you can do when you don't have all these distractions, right? And, 6 of Wands is also about those everyday things just easing up. And I feel like that you need that energy. You need that everyday just easing up. And I feel like that's going to be happening for you too, because it is happening in spirit. So spirit is working these things in your favor. Now, when I expand on that 5 of Swords, I have that of the 8 of Swords, the 10 of Wands, and the 3 of Wands. So again, so for sure, a lot of us are going to be moving. I don't know if, I feel like a lot of my air signs are going to be traveling next year. I know we're in a certain time, but I do feel like a lot of my air signs specifically are going to be traveling. I just keep getting that energy for you all. So I do feel that. I do feel like some of you are actually going to be traveling overseas. I feel like some of you are actually going to be working overseas. So in a different country. I feel like that's kind of what you're planning on, right? Yeah, and that's what that ten of wands is what I'm picking up. You're actually moving some of your things. You won't be able to move everything. It's like I'm only going to be able to take what I can take, right? And then with this 8 of swords, again, let's move beyond. And because this was the first expansion, the second, and then the third, right? It's all about moving beyond that self-doubt, is that it's not for me because it hasn't been for anyone else in my family. Hasn't been, or that self-doubt, like I don't think I can do this because I'm not a master at it yet, right? I'm not that good of a writer. I don't have novels under my belt, I'm a newbie. I'm a novelist, So cut all that noise. Right? Because the thing about being, just starting and being the novelist is you come with this fresh perspective. You don't come with this perspective that's stale and been there, done that. Oh no, yeah, I know that. Right? Those folks that like, you know what, I've been doing this for 20 years, so I know what I'm doing. Right? Great. But sometimes what happens in that energy is that they stop learning and, things become stale. So be okay. Be okay with you just starting. Be okay that you're a novelist, right? Okay, so let's see how this is going to translate into your sun energy. There we have it. There we have it. Ooh, why is that? What happened? Okay, so I expanded in from that 2 of Pentacles, and we have that of the Fool and the Ace of Pentacles, right? So like we were just saying, it's just a matter of choosing that one niche, that one idea, that one thing that is going to push you forward. And it's going to be like, oh, I got it. That new innovative thing for these changing times. And not only will it be profitable, but it's going to be like a new start of a career that is going to be legacy bound. It's going to be something that's really going to set you forward. I keep hearing decade. I keep hearing like 10 years, like this next decade, this next 10 years, that's going to be your new thing. No longer will you be, in this particular position that you've been in for the past 20 years, for the past 15 years, for the past 5 years, right? Now you're going to have a new title. You're going to be that novelist. You're going to be that broadcaster, when before you were a dentist or you were a dentist assistant. You know what I mean? So I feel like that you're going to be jumping into something completely new, and the Fool is the novelist. Right? Next is the Magician. You see what I'm saying? It's all about making that magic and moving to that Fool's journey. And you're on that Fool's journey. I love it. And you're in that Fool's journey with the Ace. Bravo. So then we have that of the Knight of Swords, the Knight of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles. So this is an expansion off of that first one that I put down in the initial energy. And so with all these knights there, we are like in the teenage stage of, moving towards our next thing, right? And you're like, Crystal, I thought you just said I'm a novelist. I just started. But this is telling me that you have the life experience. You may not have the experience in what it is you're trying to do, but life experience is going to help you in this endeavor, right? I also feel like that once we start communicating with that right person, that person who we were talking about earlier, who has that same compassionate heart that you do, or who has that same sense of what you're trying to accomplish, they're going to invest in you. It won't be like a whole lot because they're almost going to be kind of like filling it out, but they're going to invest in you somehow. So for example, if you want to start your own YouTube channel, they're like, hey, you know what? I got you a camera. Since you're doing this thing, hey, you know what? I got you some lights. You know what I'm saying? Or, whatever it is you're trying to do, you're like, you know what? I want to get into tarot reading. All of a sudden someone's like, you know what? I know you're into this thing and you're trying to, kick this off. I got you some tarot cards. So I feel like that they're going to gift you almost like, you know what, I want to see where you're going to take this. And with that Knight of Wands, you see how they're kind of facing each other. You're going to be like, I got you. And it's going to be really exciting for you. And it's really going to kind of give you a nice little kickstart. Now, when I expand on the King of Cups, I have that of the Devil, the 9 of Cups, and I got the 4 of Wands in reverse. And I typically don't have reversals, nor do I read reversals. And something told me not to turn this around, right? So some of us, in regards to relationship, Gemini, it is what it is. Some of us have decided to, this relationship isn't for me. I feel like there has been some deceit in a particular relationship, and you've decided to kind of break it off, right? And I don't know if it's a marriage or if it was just a committed relationship, but you were pretty far into it, right? And you're like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. And you're going to realize it was for your better good, right? Because it wasn't a healthy relationship anyway. There was some codependency that was happening there. And perhaps there was a partner that was addicted to something. And it doesn't necessarily always have to be drugs. It can be an addiction to the drama. You know what I mean? It could just, I mostly see that it's just bad behavior, really. Like bad behavior. I feel like in regards to relationships, for those of you who are leaving one, it's almost like you don't get along with anybody. You can't get along with my family. You can't get along with my kids. You can't get along with, my coworkers. Like, for some reason, you got a problem with everybody in my circle. You know what I mean? And after a while, you're like, okay, is it just going to be me and you? That's not a relationship. We share each other's lives. So I'm feeling that too. And at the end of the day, by the time, you leave that, it's like a breath of fresh air and everything just starts falling into place for you. That's how you know the person wasn't for you, is when you level up. Right? And for some of you who are in a collaborative situation, to where you're kind of going to I want to find my person, I want to find my people who share in my ideas. It perhaps may be a Capricorn. Not only that, Saturn will be entering into Saturn's going to be entering into my air signs as well. So you're going to start feeling some earth energy. Speaking of, let's go ahead and pull your third card from our ancestral deck, and that is Mother Earth, and it says feel love and comforted. So for some of you who are going through this transition, so whether you're moving, whether you are leveling up in a position, whether you are in the beginning stages of this new novelty thing, you are loved, you are guided, right? Really focus on that soul star chakra, right? And that's also earth energy. It's going to help ground you, ground that anxiety, ground that it's not, it's not for me. Yes, it is. Why not? This is also energy of the Empress, who is fertile with new ideas, new passion, right? Prosperity, growth, right? It's delicious. Let's go ahead and expand on your immediate present and see what we have there. I pulled from another deck, the Modern Witch. Yeah. It is what it is. So I expanded on that Two of Swords, and I have that of the Knight of Swords and the Temperance. Again, Gemini, watch our communication, right? Strongly, I am feeling like whatever's going to happen in December, you are misinterpreting it. You just don't have all the information. So before you come out in true Gemini style and you read them from top to bottom, right? You don't want to stand there like, oh, you were doing that for me. Gotcha. Okay, you were protecting me. Oh. And you don't want to put yourself in that position, because the forgiveness from that sort of behavior takes a while. It takes a while for someone to kind of trust you, to trust them, right? So the message here is just, temper it. Temper what you think you saw, right? Call on that alchemist energy, on that triad of energy, on that soul chakra energy, to just ground those feelings for a minute. You don't have all the information yet. And you know what? Source is not revealing what that information is to me. But so it's making me feel like it's not a secret. It's just not time for it to be revealed to you yet. So when I expand on the Chariot, I have that of the King of Wands and the Hermit energy. I'm feeling Virgo, so I don't know if some of us have a Virgo that we're dealing with. And the Hermit energy is also about packing as well, right? Packing things away. So some of you are really some of you are, come on, you're moving. It is what it is. We kind of brought that message home. And then we also have another King of Swords. Did we have a King of Swords? No, we had a Knight of Swords. I'm sorry, Wands. I'm getting it together. So with this King of Wands, with the Hermit energy, it's almost like you're just, whatever these downloads is, right? Whatever you have decided to do, and you've been thinking about it, you've been studying, you've been typing, you've been, we've been going through this all year, Gemini. Like I've said, you've kind of been gathering notes, and now you're putting them all together, and now you've kind of organized them. And now you're kind of looking at your work, and you're like, okay, which way am I going to go? I can see that in your sun energy. So in your immediate present, you're like, I've decided. And now I'm moving. It's no more thinking, it's doing. That's what the King of Wands is about. In this case, she is a doer. Now, to round up your reading with that Three of Pentacles, I have the Page of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, and the Three of Swords. So right away, I don't know, this is a specific message, right? So I don't know if some of you are kind of like, breaking up and there's a child involved, right? And I'm just gonna tell it like it is. I'm just seeing what I see. It's like, okay, now we're breaking up. Now we're trying to think about how we can financially take care of this child. So I hear like child support, sort of thing. And it is going to cause a little bit of a rift, but Gemini, we're going to be very careful about how we speak and talk things, right? We don't have all the information. I feel like that's important here. This is our second Three of Swords because we had it in spirit, and now it's showing up as the final card in our deck, right? Again, I don't feel like that this is disappointment to you. I feel like that whomever you decide to leave, and whatever you decide to leave, and what energy you decide to remove yourself from, the people whom are left behind are the ones who are brokenhearted, are the ones that are disappointed. And who are the ones who are grieving? Because it's almost like they didn't appreciate you when you were around, and they didn't appreciate all the things you were doing when you were doing them. And that's that. All right, my dear, we are going to pull your angel card, and this is the energy we would like to focus on for the month of December. And we have that of support. So again, just picking up on that whole child support thing, that's really weird that I picked up on that towards the end of the reading. But the most important message that I'm getting is that Spirit is supporting you in whatever it is you are doing. So when you start to come across this energy, right? Because they're going to try to make you feel guilty, right? There's going to be some sort of, like I said, the haters are going to hate. And then the people who took you for granted are going to be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I almost feel like they're not going to apologize. I almost feel like they're going to be mad at you for removing yourself, right? Support goes in all ways. They're going to be upset because you didn't support them. Know that you're being supported by Spirit with this new endeavor, this new journey, this new thing. And you have one single ace. You know why I love that? Because it's going to be a divine focus on everything Pentacle, business, money, health, what? Okay, Gemini, that's all I got. That's all I got. Listen, I absolutely adore you. I'm going to see you next month.